some of these behind-the-scenes Star Trek footage clips and show you how there's what is either the biggest hoax of all time, in my opinion, or legitimate shape-shifting, advanced technology, aliens, maybe an android or two, or just some incredible CGI or something, because there's things that are going on that just can't be explained. Now, let's start with this one here. Here we have what appears to be Leonard Nimoy walking in front of this sort of this truck-like thing with all this reflective equipment for photographs. You have this nice California-style sort of mountain range background, Pacific Southwest, and then this man in the background. You notice the man. Before we get to that clip, this man in the background, and they're just walking in there, putting on the jacket, and here's Nimoy smiling. Excuse me. Here's Nimoy smiling at us. Now, nothing too unusual about this. Let's just watch it at normal speed for a second. Alright, did you notice anything odd at all? Now, Nimoy is incredibly charming, charismatic, so is Bill Shatner and McCoy. They all are. These are brilliant actors and very comfortable for the camera. And that's where your mind is going to go. You're going to look at this actor with the big, Hollywood teeth and everything. You're not going to necessarily see too much going on in the background. I want you to look at the guy on the right, first of all. Check out what he's doing with his right hand as he comes on set, as it comes on the screen, rather. Look at right there. So he's doing something really fast, bringing something down with his right hand at this very strange angle here where his hand and arm seems to be kind of, looks more like a long stick or something, right? That's not a human arm there. And we don't know what he's doing, but now, all of a sudden, look what happens to his right arm. Now he's got a hand again, right? And now look on the right hand, you're going to notice a strange black dot on his right hand, and he seems to be holding up two fingers in this very, I wish this labeling would go away so you could see it better. Can you see the black dot on his right hand there? You see how there's a little dot right there? I can't explain that. But if you look what he's doing with his right hand before we get to this black dot thing, there's something very strange going on. I mean, what just happened? What exactly am I looking at? He's coming. It appears that he has some long stick object at first in his hand. Then that disappears, and now he's suddenly got a white normal hand, and there's light reflecting on his skin, and this strange kind of little tiny black dot with these two fingers. Now, what's going on with that? Can you explain it? His hair looks very strange. Like, if you might notice, he's got kind of a exceptionally long, brow. Like, that's not really even. He's wearing a hairpiece that's kind of strange. But I cannot explain what's going on with his right hand and how he's able to do this so fast. Look at that. That's just right. Poof. Where's his hand? And what is in that hand? I guess he's got a hand. Does he have a hand for a second there? I mean, what can you explain this? Maybe this is his hand. He's got something in his hand, and then it whips down real fast. Doesn't seem to go anywhere. Look at that weird hair again. I mean, what is going on with the guy's head? Look at his hair. Now it's gone, and in his flick of an eye, he comes back. I mean, this is so fast. Let's just watch it again at full speed. You see what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? That is not normal. It just did something. Look, you see how fast this man is moving? That is impossibly fast. Look at this. I mean, look, you see what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm saying? Is that an android? Is this? I mean, what the fuck are these people doing? So, you see how fast this guy on the right is moving? And here's very charming Nimoy. You know, and frankly, I don't actually think that's the real Leonard Nimoy. I'm going to get to the devils in a sec, maybe cloning, but look at his teeth. His teeth do not actually match the Nimoy that we have, in my opinion. And I haven't made study of it, but that's my instinctive reaction. It just looks different to me, but you never know. Okay, so that's the first thing, is this weird guy on the right. Now the second thing I want you to do is I want you to look up here, this reflector. Now, normal photographic equipment, it's very common. We all have seen these sort of tinfoil looking things get this like nice little reflection on the actor, but if you look really carefully at that thing, that's actually sparkling in a way that's not typical of a reflector. That looks to me a little more, it's right there, you see like right around here, that looks a little more like it's generating energy, or I'm not sure if you can see it, but that is not reflecting light the same way that a light panel would. That looks like a sectionalized, almost like a, there's some kind of interplay with light and energy there that's going on that is not, you see what I'm saying? How it's kind of sparkling in these kind of like little squarey things. That's not typical of a light reflector, and the angle is also very strange. And this thing with the photoreflectors and these stands comes up again and again. These are functioning with some sort of optical illusion, in my opinion, because when we get to some of these later clips, you're going to see incredibly strange physics and impossible to explain phenomenon using a reflector similar to this. It's not the same kind though, that particular one, but there's another one where there's much more clear evidence of sort of this energy thing going on. I don't remember offhand what the hell else was going on with those. I remember there was something else, but I think it was maybe in the background on the left. I can't seem to find it. Some of these have like little, oh yeah, there's something moving. I forgot. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well let's just move on to the next one here. Okay, now this one is probably going to freak you out as much as it did me. It's not really about Bill, but first of all, look how young Bill Shatner looks here. Now, I believe this is season 1, and it's probably just the lighting. Maybe he's got a lot of makeup on, but you'll notice in like where Moon is done before, a lot of these other episodes, the guy's got quite a lot of wrinkles. His face is not, he doesn't have really nice, pretty skin. This is probably just a nice day. He's got the angle and the lighting do a million things, but just it is kind of interesting. It looks quite a bit younger to me, but whatever. Probably here nor there. So the first thing I want to notice is the guy in the blue shirt on the left. Never noticed that before. That is sort of a strange looking watch. I'm not sure that that's a watch, but anyway. Notice his ear first. This scene has nothing to do with ears. It's kind of a strange eared man. You can kind of see. Notice it's just sort of it's not a typical shape. There seems to be something there. It's a very small, odd hole. That does not look exactly like the normal ear. Now, when it has, super 8mm or whatever, it could be just a normal thing. I don't actually see an eyeball on this. And I'm not being facetious. I'm not joking. There's quite a lot of characteristics of human beings here which are not like real human beings. And whoever is filming these and producing these is playing with us in the most subtle way of our perceptions that you could possibly imagine, so we take it for granted. But you're going to find that you can't prove some of these things are fucking human beings. I'm still in shock of what I'm seeing. This is beyond fucking belief. Okay, so keep looking. There's no eyeball person, probably just the angle. You can't really see it. But this strange ear, though, you can see it's a strange ear. Okay, now I want you to look at the guy, John. I think his name is John Abbott, on left of. On our upper left or the right, over right shoulder. Shatner, look at right here. You see how we're having an odd thing going on with the ear again? Now, not only is Mr. Abbott's ear sort of strangely shaped, like, what the fuck? I mean, it's attached to his jawline without a lobe. There's no space between his ear lobe and his neck. That is attached as one piece. I mean, this is, before we get to this, the nose, which is going to freak you out, look at this dot around his ear. That's not an earring. That's supposed to be part of his flesh. Now look at his nose. At the angle that this man is, his nose should come out. This is not normal. I mean, this this is not just a trick of the light. This man's cheek is going up into an area of his face that doesn't make sense, and this is not a normal nose. Now, can you explain that? Okay, so now also I want you to notice that the hair is kind of covering most of the upper ear. Okay, so now we see that. Now watch Bill being very charming, right? Big, huge center of the frame. And we're going to see now Abbott's gone for a split second now. This is just not even 1/20th of a second or something. And now we get back, and now I swear to God, it's a different guy. You're going to freak out. I swear to God. Look at his right ear. You can tell it's a different man because his ear is no longer covered at the top. He also has this gray coloring here, which was not present before. You see how his ear is completely, how fast is he going to move his hand and move his hair perfectly, back swooping his ear so his ear's exposed where it wasn't just 1/30th of a second before. Can you explain it? And what about that bump? He doesn't have the same ear. He does not have the same ear. Look. There's John Abbott with his big ear. There's big normal kind of ear. You can see it pretty clearly, clear enough. And then we go back just a second. And look at that shit. What the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Okay, now look here also. I can tell you this is not the same outfit or the same John Abbott. That's not the same actor. The British actor is quite brilliant, actually. But look at this, the stitching. If you know the series, I just went and watched, and I can tell that it's not the same outfit because the stitching here doesn't exist for this outfit. It seems to be a slight color change, but that could be just the exposure. But there's no stitching here where that outfit would be, and this does not have the same bone structure exactly as John Abbott. But now you'll see that his nose is quite prominent. His ears are exceptionally long. Look how fucking long the ears suddenly became. What is going on? Look, this is the anatomically here. We're looking at things that are not possible. Now see again. Look at how strange the guy's ear is. I think I can get a frame of it right there. Is it gone? Okay. Look at that. Now that is almost a pointed ear. Will you agree? It's flat and there's an angle. Is this a real life Vulcan? Is that a dummy ear? Now there's a little tiny hole up here and this wide fucking, what the fuck are we fucking looking at here, motherfuckers? This is fucking freaking me out. Okay, now, that's enough for me to just go through the next scene. But before I do, I want to show you something here that Bill does, which is beyond, besides him just being funny. This is funny. Just look at him being funny. Over there. But look how fast he twitches his head here. Just watch how quick he does this. I don't know. I haven't looked too careful with this, but it just seems a little strange to me. But is it me or do Bill's ears look a little weird too? That's probably just looking way too close. But it seems to me that there's just something about him in this little clip. It's not exactly 100% natural now. I've just proved there's maybe some kind of a look at. See what I'm saying? It just. It could be a trick of light, just whatever. But this guy, I'm 100% positive they pulled the switcheroo. But I don't know what's going on with Bill. It just looks a little bit fast, and sometimes in these little frames you find strange shit too. Like for example, look at the back of his head. Look at his hair. You're gonna find something strange in his head for a second. Well, not that. Look at it there. You see how there's sort of a curly X thing, like on the back of his head. Now that's probably just some weird feature, but you'll see it's sort of strange though. That's not really normal hair. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on with these people? It's just fucking weird. Okay, so now let's get to the next one. And by the way, again, it's probably just a trick of the thing, but it just looks younger to me, and maybe it's just the light, but his eye color, who the fuck knows, but it's probably just from the medical. Okay, this is the one you're gonna absolutely fucking shit your diapers. I'm gonna freak you out with this one, and I hope that you are ready, because your stomach is gonna feel like gravity has shifted if you can put together everything I'm about to tell you. Okay, this is not DeForest Keller in my opinion, the actor who played McCoy. This person is somebody who looks almost exactly like, but is doing some things with his skin that are not natural. He's doing something with his hand that I think is impossible. Maybe there's some fucking math study that about photography that can prove me wrong, but I have a still frame of this guy's hand doing something not possible. And then third, he doesn't have any fucking his hair on his entire face. Now, alopecia is not something that McCoy, DeForest Kelly was known to have, and he certainly would have had it on. He would have had it while he was on the set or on screen for Star Trek, and not off scene. So he would have had it either always. And he's got hairy arms in the series, so he's got real fucking hair. Okay, so that's just freaky enough. It's just a big guy. But I'm going to show you that there's weird shit imprinted on the guy's skin in just a couple of seconds. This is a 1 second clip. So let's just watch the clip first before I tell you what's going on here. Okay, not even 2 seconds, right? Now, there's so much weird shit going on with this. You're gonna hate me because it's so beautiful how crazy it is. Look at this. Okay, first of all, before we get back to McCoy, I want you to take a look at the guy in the white on the right. This guy right here. You're gonna notice something here. He is seated at an angle where it's tilting down. You see this? So he's tilted at this quite a steep grade. Yet you notice that his left shoulder is actually higher than his right shoulder. Can you explain that? Is this guy 7 inches higher on his left side from some physical abnormality? Because that's what it would take. And then how exactly is he balancing perfectly? He's literally defying gravity. And then the way that this chair is not right. This is not, I think, the angle. I mean, maybe it is, but I haven't done any math or anything. But this just seems like a strange angle to me. And the way he's seated in the chair is also strange. Now, it would make sense if he was CGI, if he was placed in there, but this is supposed to be Super 8 footage from like 1965. Okay, so that's the first thing. Number two is he does look a little strange to me anatomically. There's something off about his nose. If you notice the way that the hat is casting a shadow, it casts all the way to here. His nose is not extended out past this, yet there is light on it. Can you explain that? Again, it's one of those things where maybe there's some weird math and maybe I'm wrong. It's like maybe just this light hitting it that way, but it just also looks a little squarish and a little strange, just the nose. And you'll find an anatomical weirdness in some of the other shit too, but try to look at his ear. Does this look just a little too large for his fucking body? This ear is about this big. Now, all that could just be normal. I mean, who knows? But it just looks a little. The dimensions don't quite look right to me. This is like a baseball or something. Okay, now to really freak you out with shit, it's a lot easier to like just point saying this is freaky. First of all, look at this. You see this? That's not a hand. That can't be. This is transparent. You can see the white notebook or whatever these papers are through the guy's supposed finger. That is not a trick of light. You don't see, things don't become see-through because of a trick of the light, and it's the same all the way through. That the entire clip, you can see through his finger. Can you explain how you can see through his finger? Because you can't see through his other fingers. I can't explain this little dark shadow as a crease between fingers either, so I'm just going to say that's not a hand, and it's not a finger, and something's going on. Now, also, there's some white object protruding over this. I mean, looks like a modern-day remote control or just, racer, and who the fuck knows what it is, but it's something strange that I don't think is unintentional. Like, I think they're playing so many tricks with their eyes that I just wonder what that could be, what kind of object that is. Now, another strange thing is what's going on with his left hand. If you'll notice very carefully, there's 2 pages that flap over really fast, right by his left hand. One, you see that? See that? You see right here, watch here, 2 pages flap, but we can't explain this because there's no wind. You see the second flap there? Right there? Second flap. Okay, so there's two, but there's no wind, and he's not moving his hand. There's no wind anywhere. There's nothing moving here. There's no evidence of wind on the hair. No, there's nothing. It's fabric. It's clothes. This is dead still. But the pages are just flapping from out of nowhere without his left hand moving at all. Nothing's moving. I mean, that's not that easy to do. Like, it's really fast. And look at how strange his little fingers. I'm not convinced these are fingers. I mean, are you? It's obviously another thing where it's on the line. It's really hard to see. Like, you can't totally tell. But that just looks a little bit more like it's meant to resemble an arm and a hand, but they're playing some weird, freaky fucking trick on us, okay? Now, before, again, I get to McCoy and the most beautiful creature I might have ever seen, because I really think this is an alien, and you're going to maybe at least start to think it's possible, or that they're at least trying to show it's like one by the time I get explaining. But before I do, I want you to look at this weird tripod thing. You see this tripod thing? This here is magical. This is defying physics. Look very carefully. I want you to look right there. Okay. First of all, it's a very bizarre angle. Like, something's just looking like an optical illusion to me. I haven't done anything about it, but this is not, this is set up in a way for like an illusionist. But do you notice what's going on here? You see what I'm getting at? This is changing form. But as soon as it meets this silver mirror-like object, or reflector, whatever you want to call it, what is happening to it? Why is it changing color? What exactly is happening to its form? Is it going inside it? Almost looks like it's becoming a shadow, but, I mean, can you explain exactly why it's changing color with this little reflector thing that doesn't appear to be reflecting much of anything? Like, it's not a mirror. I mean, it's almost like this thing goes underneath, and this is actually part of this silver-faced object, and it's an optical illusion to make us think this is one thing, like a figure four thing. You know what I'm saying? Connecting that way, because it's not making sense. Now, when you see the next couple of frames, watch how that thing right over his left shoulder of McCoy, watch how it changes. Look at you see? Now, this is very difficult to see, but it crosses, there's a cross, and you'll notice the physics of this actually, it looks like it's not the same dimensions. It looks like it's either changed or it's, look at this, hold on, it's going to be really subtle, and it's hard to see, hard to tell, but you can see that now it looks more like a three-dimensional physical object than before. I mean, I can't exactly understand what we're looking at here, but this is some form of an illusion, or that thing is moving or changing or turning in some way, like as a cylinder, or something is going on with that thing that is extraordinary, and you see what I'm saying? It's an illusion. It's I mean, maybe it's just the object is set up in a way that's just trickily, set, and it's just sort of a normal, just a trick of the eye. But it seems to me that there's some sort of statement about 2 dimensions versus 3 dimensions, or something else. I don't know. I honestly just can't yet grasp exactly what it is about it that's freaking me out. But it doesn't. You see, it's kind of curving in. That's not a normal pointed angle, like an arrowy angle, and how this seems to be kind of an extended flat surface. It's like not rounded. And then a couple of frames behind that, it looks just like a normal stand, like a tripod that's extending out. It just doesn't. It does not compute with me. And I mean, I really just got this a few fucking days ago. I was just looking at this, but something's weird about it. Okay. Now we'll get to McCoy before we get to the alien. Now, this is strange that he has no hair. You're not going to find any hair. And when you find the whole thing is a wig. This is a wig. That's not a normal hairline. Now, let's, no offense to people with toupees. They're, probably 90% of actors over 25, if male actors wear toupees in Hollywood, I hate to break it to you. They are forced to do that. They have to, even when they're in public. So, okay, look at this guy's hand. Just look at the guy's hand. Now that you know he has no hair, he's supposed to have hair. try to explain what he's got going on with his hand. His hand in places disappears. Now, I know you're gonna say this is like, this is just that the camera hasn't caught up and we have two frames melding into one for this, and I'll buy that for $1, that this is just, this one where his hand's disappearing, it's just he's moving it so fast, but I don't necessarily believe that, but I'm not a mathematician or but look at there's something else that's just not really right. First of all, what the fuck is going on with his fingers before he does anything? You see, this is not a trick of the camera moving too fast. This man's hand is not a normal fucking hand. This person has changed the shape of a hand so that there's a big piece missing of his hand. That is not a trick of the light. That's not a trick of him moving it so fast that the frames are blending in like before it's transparent. This is not a camera issue. This is not a special effect. This man's hand is deformed. It's shape-shifted. You also know a color differentiation. You see something strange with the colors around his palm. It's okay, so he's supposedly putting his thumb under his nose here, and now he's going to just wave it real fast downwards, fingers real fast. Cute, he's being charming, he's an actor. But again, look at this for 1 second, and you're going to see that there's something very strange. If I can just catch it at the right moment. That's really hard. Okay, I'm not editing this, so okay, that's good enough. Look at how fast this motherfucker's moving his fingers down. So fast that I think it's, so fast that I think it's 32 frames a second, 30 frames a second, that film cameras operate, something like that. So fast that it appears that his fingers come off, detach, and that weird stump that he had to begin with, remember, where he's got that weird indentation, is now all that is there. You understand? So the fingers disappeared and the part that was deformed is remaining, so that we know that this is actually the same deformity and his fingers are not doing anything normal here. And I haven't done the math on it again on this, but that's some pretty seriously speedy shit there. You gotta be moving it, what is that, like, 100 frames per second is a rough guess. I don't know, but that's like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna explain that. And what is this supposed to be a hand here? This stumpy thing? Okay, and then so let's just watch it before we get to the alien. There's a weird thing behind him. Watch it normal speed. You see, it's so fast, right? This all goes by so fast you never really think of it. And okay, so now here's where I'm really gonna show you something that's interesting. First of all, look at these two little dots, if you can see them on this, what looks like a head of hair or a wig, like the outrageous 60s sci-fi hairdo. You'll see these dots again, just like we saw the dot on the ear. There's two little dots here. That's actually not really too easy to do if it were hair. I think they're telling us this is supposed to be like a wig, but I'm convinced this is not even supposed to really be like hair, or that upon closer inspection it's really not anything like real hair. I don't think this is supposed to, look too much like hair on closer inspection. So besides it just being strangely colored, look at these two weird strands that come down. Because I don't know what the fucking hell we're looking at here. Look at this weird frame. Look at these two strands of hair that are supposed to shoot all the way down. Now this woman is in a similar position with her head as McCoy is, and I can't explain what this is. And I also can't explain what we're looking at behind us here with this strange form. Any guesses? Because that's just not making sense exactly. This is supposed to be a woman's wig casting downward, and that's the background. And what are the dimensions of this object? Is she sitting in front of this? What is this what is this? You know, this is connected to this apparatus. What exactly is this? I mean, is that the nose of a donkey? I mean, I don't know what the fuck we're looking at. And it is very, very, very unusual. This almost looks like a head of an asp or something. Or, I mean, it's just strange. It's quite interesting and beautiful even, but I don't know what to think about it. So now to get to the really freaky part, other than this more speculative weird stuff. First of all, look at the hairs here. These are very, that's not, very strange. That's not like a knot. That's more like, I don't know what that is. But look, okay, now look, we get closer. Right when he was making right when McCoy, you see the alien hit because the alien's on screen. Right when McCoy does this weird thing with his thumbs and this non-hand android hand thing. I think, I'm not joking with you, I think we're seeing the side profile and view of a blue-faced alien. Now, I'm not going to touch the alien just out of respect, because I think when we're seeing a video, we're touching them. This is very personal and direct for an advanced species. That's just my opinion, advanced being. But right here to the left of this is where the nose would be, just a little bit to the left, you see? And then the eye, because this is supposed to be a woman's front, like her face is here. So what the fuck is in the back of her moving? Look at this. See? You see how it's moving on the back of her head? You see how this left moving? You see how that goes? And then you see that's supposed to be the woman's face. Right? And what I'm saying is, I think that's not really a woman. I think that's like a Muppet puppet, like a just make it look like a woman for just a split second, because look at this shit. No eyes, very strange mouth and facial features. Now I have a blur, a double exposure here, but it's try to get one more better than that so you can see she's not normal looking. Okay, there we go. Look at her dimensions. I mean, it's again could be on the line kind of, but you can see it's just strange. Look at her jaw, look at the expression. I don't think so. It just doesn't. I don't think that's a real woman. I think that's like a fucking, like a mask or some really exceptionally well done. I mean, does she have eyeballs? I know that we can't see McCoy's eyeballs either. It's kind of dark. The lighting is coming from the top down, so we can't really see the eyes. But where's the reflection of any eyeballs on that face? And look at that weird fucking mouth. It's like a very manly mouth. It's just not. And look at the hair now. Even if it's a wig, I mean, this is like. That's heavy. I mean, this hair does not separate like that even in a wig. That's just strange. So try to imagine that that's actually like a mask on the back of an alien's head, okay? I know it's crazy sounding, but what is on the back of her head if it's not a blue alien? What is on the back of her head? Right there, you see that? You see it moving? She turns to the right with something on the back of her head. That is extending out on the back of her head several inches, and it's supposed to be normal. I mean, how are we explaining this? And right there, it's very strange that the shadow on McCoy here goes right perfectly in line with the alien. And again, there's another thing that they do with shadows on this that'll freak you the fuck out when you see it, because they're doing something with the shadow that's not matching the human being in one of these clips. So, I mean, maybe you think it's totally crazy, I'm just dead wrong, it's really just a normal chick or whatever, but I honestly don't think so. I really believe that is either a hoax or an alien, okay? Okay, now let's look at the last thing I'm going to throw in here. Is that, first of all, this, I don't know what the hell this box and shit is, but look at this guy. You think this guy in the back here, you think this is a guy, right? At first glance, this is a dude. This is like an arm. This is like, a short sleeve shirt, maybe a worker's patch, union patch or something. I don't know, management, janitor, fucking, craft services, handyman, whatever. But can you make sense? First of all, he would have to be buried at the upper thigh unless there's some drop off which doesn't seem possible, like it goes down like 5 feet, this guy would have to be buried in the sand. Second of all, this is not an arm. It's too thin. It doesn't have the dimensions. It's not an elbow. Can you see what I'm saying? That's not an arm. But even if it was some sort of trick of the lens and the lighting, look at the shirt. It's way too big for the arm. Gigantic. And this has form. This has some sort of, maybe not hardness. Maybe it is, but that's not. This is sticking out, not like a shirt. So it looks like it's resembling a human being again, but they're fucking with us. So what is it? I mean, what is, begs the question. It goes right into this box thing, some tech or something, and this is going behind what appears both of these objects. I mean, they're tantalizing us here with some sort of information. They're showing us something without telling us what it is and making us think and guess in just the most subtle way. But it might keep you up at night if you really try to think about what the fuck they're saying. Like, what is it? What is this object? What else could it possibly be? Because that's not a human person, and it resembles so closely that, I mean, weird. I don't know. So okay, so let's finally move on. By the way, all this shit just looks really strange, but there's motion back there, but I couldn't find anything other than that. Just if you look at the ground, there's all kinds of strange clues. Like right above the blue alien, we have this collection of stuff on the ground that looks kind of like numbers or letters, but that's not normal. It's just random rocks up there. It looks, you know what I'm saying? Like all these right angles and, I mean, no. And also look at, there's some geometry to some of these rocks. You can see sort of a C here. I think there's another scene where they have writing TV is really clearly on the ground. And those, I just can't exactly explain this background. I mean, they're playing some kind of game with us here. These are not just random rocks, because some of them have geometrical form that is very unusual. And like if you look really carefully, this is right angle, right angle, right angle. I mean, it almost resembles like a structure if you're looking really, really high elevation. Or, I mean, maybe something cut through, like maybe we're deep under the ground. Maybe this is some deep underground military base thing, you know. It's like the lead is all artificial and we're 500 miles or 50 miles below that soil. Who the fuck knows? Or it's just like, you know, some alien landscape. But that's not kind of just random California, Pacific Southwest mountainside. At least it doesn't quite seem right. I can't maybe put my finger exactly on it, but it's just not seeming quite legit to me. It's just one thing after another is so fucking strange that you just can't explain a lot of this shit. Okay, now this one is from a clip from, it was an actual newscast, I guess, and I saw the original full clip on this. This is like just a close up of it. And what I found that's really strange is that it's not the same guy you're about to see in the background as what's in the original clip right there. This guy is not the same person in the news clip that you'll see, and when you look up this clip on YouTube or Vimeo or whatever, the guy in the background is not the same, and this guy in the background has strange features. Look at this. Now he's moving really quick, but would you call this hair? Would you call this something like a nose? I mean, how is his face dropping off? This is, you know, we're looking at something very odd here. That's not a normal human being, even if it's just from movement. That's not what you're saying. That's all I can say. Okay, this is the one. This is the first one that is really kind of big. There's two scenes that I know from this one. I'm sure there's other people who've seen these all the way through or whatever. I'm sure there's more of it, but just these little clips that I've analyzed just for my own satisfaction. I'm making this little video, and I guarantee I'm at least going to convince you that there's something not right here. First of all, look at this car. Do you notice these 3 dots? I don't feel that that's a car being driven in a typical way. Like, we could say that on the right hand side it's like a European car, and they had maybe somebody on this side driving, but that doesn't seem too likely. because it's an American show, and I mean maybe, but even then, this is strange. But where else would those guys be? Like, what are those three figures doing back there? What are those? You know what I mean? I mean, that's not exactly a shadow making somebody appear dark. That's a black spot inside the car. That's not like, you can't see them. There's light around in the middle of them. Now, I can't identify the car. It's bizarre, but watch what the car does at the very end of its journey. It does this strange up bump thing right here. You see that? Now, it's just it's very, very subtle, but it sort of goes up in a way that I don't exactly explain, because it's just suddenly, you see the angle that it's at, it just went at an angle very quickly, and I'm not seeing the hill there. I'm not seeing a grade. See what I'm saying? I mean, this is again, it's just one strange thing. It's like it's going up his shoulder. Like they're saying something, like the car, traveling 3 something and the mission. Okay, so now, whatever you think of the car, you can say it's all just bullshit, trick of the light, it's just traveling up a bump, who the fuck knows. Look at this shit. Look at that silver thing in the upper right. Watch how it look at that. Do you think that's just, I guess this is not the one you're going to see it too well, but there's something going on there that's really happening very quickly, and that's not built like a normal light reflector for a movie set that I know of. I mean, maybe there are some like that, that's just what it is, but it seems to me there's something else going on here, and it's a lot more prominent in the one that's going to come up with in a couple frames here. So the only other thing I can say is this guy's ear looks a little strange, but not so much that I can say it's like the other shit. And I don't know anything else about Bill. I didn't notice anything else about this scene. Other than that, the hillside looks just bizarre. Like they're probably playing games with us there too. Maybe I'm sure I missed something. I didn't watch this one too carefully. But whatever. Okay, so let's get to this one. This one is actually pretty strange. You're going to see this guy here who's walking from the camera with the glasses. We're going to see him again in a minute. And just notice the glasses, because his glasses do something totally impossible twice, in this clip and the next one. This is not a trick of the light where he's walking so fast that we're getting a double exposure and his eyes are blending into the next. I mean, we're not getting, you can see that, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it is, but even for that, it doesn't seem right to me. Shit. Fuck. I mean, it goes on for more than one frame. That thing is in the way, and I'm getting a little tired of the hand of the mouse here, but that just doesn't strike me as a completely double exposure problem. It still would not explain why there's no symmetry with the other side. This is flattening completely all the way around. Those are not eyeglasses, and this pocket here does not appear to be dark because of eyeglasses. It appears that he has no fucking eyeball. I mean, it does kind of look like there's form here, but that is not what eyes and eyeglasses look like from any lens. There's nothing reflecting on the glass there. You can't see any form of any eyeball at all. It's just a dark mass, and it's the same thing in the next scene. This guy has no eyes. Not in this scene, not in the next scene. And he does weird things with his body too, and the glasses are some kind of tech. Like, I mean, when you see them in the next, you see again how they're just extending outward. There's no second lens here. This is not glasses. This is either physically part of his actual body, like this is, he's made of metal inside, or or it's just extending outward. I mean, I don't know what to make of it exactly, but that's definitely not normal. And he's quite tall. This guy's probably like 6'3" or 6'4" if we're going by the normal principle. If Spock was like 5'10", he's a pretty big dude. And you'll see something very unusual happen with him later as well. It's just very quickly, he just moves across, floats across the screen, while these people are laughing and seeming to enjoy themselves. And at least in this one, it looks much more like a normal set of eyeglasses, at least kind of by the end. And we'll move on. Can't remember if there's anything else I remember. Spock just looking, kind of impish there, all having a good time. But I don't think that's Leonard Nimoy again, the same Leonard Nimoy. I think that's all I noticed about this one, except this weird lens flare. Oh yeah, okay, so the same lens flare. This is supposed to happen on the same set, just moments later, because you see the same exposure of light there, light leak on the camera. I don't think that light leak was accidental because the guy with the weird glasses comes out of the light. And watch how he appears in the light. Okay, first of all, you could, again, he's just materializing out of nowhere, so we're saying this is a double exposure, and this guy has just entered the lens, and the picture is, the camera is just catching the first part of it and superimposing it over the other image, like this one's a double exposure too, you see what I'm saying? But watch one more frame. Where is his body? Because this is now, you can see the person behind him. That's not because there's a yellow light exposure. When light leaks into the film, it doesn't make the person invisible. You see the person behind him perfectly. You get just a white blob or a yellow blob like that. Right? So, what exactly are we seeing? Now, his nose is not normal. The glasses things are totally crazy. He's smeary. He's just materializing. He might actually be beaming. You know what I'm saying? Like something's going on. This guy is just materializing. And that's why I think the light leak is intentional. But let's keep watching him again. I've done another double exposure, right? But where is he? Now suddenly he's all there. Boom. Where did he come from? What is going on, by the way, with his shirt? I mean, I don't see buttons. I don't see any definition, really. I see sort of an impression like a collar, but that does not actually compute like a real collar. Like, this is just not a normal thing we're looking at here. I don't know how to categorize or explain it, but it's just bizarre. And there's also going to be something with this guy. There's another odd thing about his clothes where you see this collar, it's just square. It's just, what the fuck is going on? It's like they're just trying to give you a rough impression of the collar. But in the next scene with this guy, he has something very, very weird about his pants, like up above his ass, like above the guy's butt. He's got like a. It's not a sexual thing. It's not even too funny. It's just like there's something that is above his pants. That's. Oh, I'll show you what it is. It's like his pants go up higher over his ass to his mid back, but only on the back, and it's like there's some weird object, and it looks like it could be like a notebook with like a flat surface at the top. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't think it's in his ass, but it's like it's just above his buttocks, and it's like, this. I'll show it. It's something's hidden in his fucking pants. Okay, so I guess that's about it, right? Notice, by the way, that there's something, just because it's going to happen again, notice that the eyeglasses are not really connecting in kind of a consistent, realistic way. That's very important because in the next thing I show you, he doesn't have any, what do you call these, like frames, like there's no, what is this called, like the things that go into the ear here, they don't connect in the other one. He appears to be wearing eyeglasses in the next one, and he has no thing like going to the ear on them. Okay, so let's get on here, move on to the next one. And also, I mean, if you notice them all doing something with their hands, the hands are really important here. There's definitely some communication going on with the hands, especially in this. Just watch the hands here. Just take a look at the hands. Did you see what Spock was doing with his hands there? That's very unusual. It's just kind of, I mean, if that's just some personal habitation or whatever, like he's just playing with his hands, it's just weird. Now look what he does with his face. You see what he's doing with his mouth? This one, by the way, this one's going to really make you shit. I can't believe we're almost up to fucking an hour of talking about this, but look at this. Look at that. So we got, we got Shatner laughing his ass off. They're very charming. They're charismatic actors, and we got Nimoy making this kind of, boy just ate a bitter, sour candy look, with making these strange things going with his hands. And by the way, if you look really carefully, I'm not exactly sure what the guy is doing with his hands. Like, it looks. He's doing something. You see watch his left index finger. Like, he's definitely doing some kind of signal here. You see that? How his left, his index finger is intentionally contained in while he's about to grab the others. Okay, now he joins his hands here, and now looks back. There's just something. I guess it's just kind of you could say it's just kind of and people play with their hands sometimes, but it's just weird. Like, look at what he's doing. Is this the right angle for his fingers to be held up in this way? Can you actually physically do what Spock is doing here? You probably can and everything, but there's another weird thing going on with the hands that I want you to look at. Look at this guy's hand. Okay? Watch really carefully, because his hand is raised up, and you can see that it actually appears to change from more of a right hand to a left hand. It's kind of an illusion, like it's just a trick of the eyes, but now it becomes a left hand. Watch this. You see how it's doing there? Something weird there. Now, oh. Do you see already that something strange there? Now just look at the form here. We have something here. And then again, McCoy, since it's McCoy that you can't see out there, it's three strange fingers. This guy's doing something weird with his hands, and then I'll show you what Shatner's doing with his hands. Again, all of them are doing something weird with their hands. And now, normal left hand, pretty much. Left hand, gonna grab that little notebook, and grips the notebook and puts it down. No big deal, right? Okay, now watch very carefully then from the beginning. Look at what is going on with the guy's left hand. It just gets a little strange. It's again on the line. You can't exactly say it's something totally, but it's enough worthy of attention. It just looks like something is changing form of his hand. You see, okay. Move forward a little bit here. Okay. Look at his hand. Now I'm afraid we have this right little line here that kind of is intruding, but I can't. His fingers are dipping down in the shadow, and that's not exactly explicable, because where are they going? He's got quite a bit of finger just leading in the shadow, and there's this white kind of thing that I guess he's sitting on or whatever, and that kind of looks like it blends into a thumb, but you'll see that his hand appears to have a thumb. This appears to be a fucking digit. This appears to be actually a right hand. Thumb, index, middle, ring finger, and then pinky, which you cannot see. But this is supposed to be his right hand. This is supposed to be the same guy. You see what I'm saying here? It's just these little teeny tiny things you really got to pay attention to. Otherwise, it's just the illusion works. Like, watch again. Raises it up. Raise it up. You see kind of a thumb there? Do you see, like, there's a white marking on this little thing here, and it's so subtle that you could think that it's hand, but this is pink. This here, right here, looks like flesh. And then, boom. It's probably, you can say, it's just a trick of the color. Go back, you see what I'm saying? But I'm seeing enough that I'm just wondering, it looks, it's moving. That's not white, that's moving. And then it changes. Now it's gone. You see? And also the way it moves is a little strange if you look. Like, it just moves back in a weird way. You see how it just kind of, it's not natural. There's something peculiar. See, everything moves, hand says, there's something weird there. Okay, so now look, before we go to the weirdest, craziest part of this, which has been right before your eyes and you haven't seen it yet, I'll point it out to you. And we're gonna look at Shatner's hands. Look at his right hand. You know, he's having a good time. It's really funny. Okay, this is very, very subtle, but they're definitely doing something intentional. Okay, so Shatner's right hand. It's gonna take a second. And there we go. Okay, so looks like his index finger is shoved into the binder. I hope that labeling there goes away. Okay, so shit. Index finger is what's lettering to put away here? Is shit. Okay, so it's inside the it's inside. And do you notice how his finger looks just kind of unusual? Like it's long and straight, and there's a little white thing at the top. I don't think. I mean, I don't know what to exactly make of this really, but there's just something I haven't figured out about this that is going on. You'll also see that his left hand has sort of a uniformity, so that his two fingers are making kind of a line. So talking about lines, something again with the hands with the script, and this is important because what I showed you at the very end is somebody who, in a way, seems to be talking about their hands. There's another being, probably an alien or an android or an actor who's doing a hoaxy weird thing, but there's another humanoid-like creature in this frame that I'm going to point out to you that you haven't seen yet. Let me just show it from the beginning. You didn't see it, right? Okay, I'll show you in a minute. So look at Shatner's hands again. Okay, so he's got long looking finger, and now he really quickly goes behind Spock and he laughs. Does something really fake, dips down, and then it disappears. See? Disappears, right? Now he comes back real fast, and his fingers have changed. Not the same position as before, right? Now, it's not that big a deal exactly, but he's doing something weird with his fingers. Now, you look what I'm saying? That's like Egyptian's toes. I mean, if you look at Egyptian toes, like supposedly in this, people with Egyptian descent have like perfectly symmetrical kind of toes that kind of do this, like they just rise steadily in a mathematical kind of way. I mean, I can't exactly again put my fucking finger on it, but it just seems there's something strange to this. I can't identify it yet. I haven't looked at this enough maybe, but that is definitely it's probably just like, they're doing something with the hands like illusions, like magicians. Not necessarily supernatural or anything, but they're doing some kind of messaging here that is intentional. Like, how does he do this? He changes it. There we go. He's gripping. It's not. It's just I just can't come up with an answer yet about why they're doing that. But the clue is that, maybe now they're in the light, or it's a strange way to hold that notebook. That's not actually very easy. If you think about it, that's fairly heavy, and the angle is with the weight downward, so it's going to flop around and put pressure on your wrist to keep it upright. And he doesn't. Where are his fingers? Where are the rest of his fingers? Because if this finger's not as long, he's. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck, but it's something again weird about the fingers. Like you see, my long finger here, right? And then suddenly, it's just that strange. Okay, so finally, okay, do you see this? Does this look kind of like a T? You can see a T if you really look hard, and like a V. I don't think that's a mistake for this, and the reason is that this kind of resembles a TV to me a little bit, like just because I see a TV there and now there's a TV there. Okay, now I'm going to show you the real cookie, the real cherry, the bullseye on this, whatever the fuck is the inexplicable part. Look at right here. Watch very, very, very carefully right where this mouse is. Just keep your eye on that part of the screen. You see? You see that move up? It's suddenly, there's something here. This is a white head or top. This may be a hand, probably because we're all hands. It's got to be a hand like waving. This almost looks like two legs, like a stick figure, and like maybe a drape or like a blanket or a cloak over the head. Now just watch what goes on, because right around where the right knee is where you see a flash of light just at the exact moment where something goes on with these actors. This is how fucking subtle this shit out. This is how exact and precise and crazy this shit is. Watch, you're still watching up here, right? Watch very carefully. Just keep watching. Super slow mo here, frame by frame. Flash of light on the right knee area coming up here. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Boom, you see it? Flash of light on this right knee. We have this strange thing. It's just the moment where Kirk is just about to go dip his knee, his right knee down and do something with his hand while these other people are doing weird shit with their hands. I don't know what it means, but I'm catching that at least. Now keep watching up there where that guy, that figure is. And now he ducks down, you see? Kirk comes up, this figure ducks down. And then he pops back up in a second. You see, just at the last second, he pops that up real quick. Boom. Can you explain that? Now, I mean, I'm sure you could make like an actor, like an outfit, and you could get something look pretty much exactly like this, but that doesn't mean I can fucking explain it. I don't know what that is. I don't know how big it is either. You can say that you can judge by the scale, you can get the set, but there's all kinds of ways to make this look bigger or smaller. You can maybe have some illusions. I mean, this could be a mile away, and it's actually possible. They could make an illusion. I don't think so, but it's not that likely. But they could be playing with the distance and the perspective, or there's all kinds of ways it's possible to do it. We wouldn't know. And come to think of it, just do you notice that the ground looks a little strange? Does that look? I mean, it just looks undefined or something. I don't know. It's probably just super H shit, but so watch one more time again. I don't know what to make of it or what to think about it, but it's definitely happening. So right up here. What is going on? Okay, so he's doing this thing. It's like a flasher or something. And it's like, look at my Johnson, look at my Jekyll. And then he's like going, he dips down, flash at the right knee. Just as Kirk comes up, he goes down. The notebook comes up, and the guy comes back up again. So did this guy write it? Is he? Oh, here's what I got from this. If you start thinking about this, whatever this figure is saying, if it's like a fucking alien or something, and all these guys are doing this weird shit with their hands, these are the actors from the movie, or from the series, doing this weird hand communication shit, and Kirk is doing something with his tongue, like sticking his tongue out, almost like, well, you can't see me, and the guy does look back, but if you look at the series of Star Trek and you watch the episodes, if you look, so far I've only seen a few episodes, but each one does have this so far since I saw this clip and started watching. One of the actors, at least on each episode I've seen, does something weird with their hands to go with a certain situation, a certain line, and it's really subtle. I've been watching these fucking episodes since I'm a kid, 12 years old or whatever, and I never really caught that. But not in this way. But in my opinion, there's some sort of a message being communicated by the actors using their hands, and we're supposed to put them together in all 79 episodes to make some form of statement, probably from this fucking alien. I mean, that's what I'm getting. Like he's trying to say something through the hands. Okay, so hopefully that's enough to convince you that there's a hoax, an alien, but there's something extraordinary. Let me see. The only thing I do about that, tell you about this dog. There's nothing I really noticed about the dog. I mean, the dog seems to have something going on a little unusual with the legs, but that's probably just dog physics. The legs are just normal dog legs. They just look funny. But look at the lights behind them. Look at right here. Are assume it's a male dog. I don't know. Look at the lights. Just at the last second, the lights split. This is not a double exposure. Even if it were, does that account for it? I mean, maybe it does. Maybe I'm just, actually I think that's got to be a double exposure. Probably is, yeah. So maybe there's nothing about this that I've noticed, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this exactly is, but that's the only thing I noticed about this particular clip. Okay, now this one is pretty strange, but the only thing that I found about this that's really unusual is what's going on with Bill's hand. William Shatner's hand is a weird snappy thing. It's just unusual. The way he's snapping his fingers here is not the way I know how to snap fingers. Like, I'll just show real. Getting tired and need some food. Let me just finish this up here. You see how he's doing that with his fingers? I mean, that's a. I don't know what the last thing that he is so fast. It's like his. I mean, it's like his. I just don't think his fingers are working totally natural there, or if they are, it's some just incredibly. I mean, truly incredible talent, like world-class kind of magician kind of snap he's doing, because it doesn't seem quite possible for you to do it. Like, I mean, he's doing something. One snap, I mean, he snaps 3 times. I shouldn't take the time to analyze this while I'm recording this, I guess, but I'm just noticing for the first time that there's just something coordinated about us going through the chair. Because I know that this is right there. This is the one that freaks me. This is the one that's not. There's something he's doing there that's defying physics. There's something. So I'll just move on since I don't really have a really convincing argument for that. This one again, I'm just going to move on from. And this is the one I'm going to end with, I guess, for tonight, because this is about as far as I've gotten. This one really made me shit my pants. Okay. And I mean, I actually physically did poo my pants. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let me just start. Let me try to pause this motherfucker. First of all, one of the things I notice is this. Maybe this is just the way the physics of the camera and shit is, and again, it's normal, but does this seem like this wheel, this tire, is just ending here? Because I don't think this is a real truck. I think this is made to resemble like a military truck or whatever, 50s, 60s. But this is a flat. And it's not like a flat tire. It's like it's not built right. But again, maybe I'm wrong. This seems strange too. I just think they're fucking with us again. And again, remember we had that white car with those 3 black dots? You see 3 black dots here again in another vehicle? This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. Like, it's nothing definitive, but it's just peculiar. Okay, so let's just start with these panels here. This is the one where you can really see that there's something unusual. Watch the kineticism, watch the motion on these panels. You see what's going on there? Like, that's not the way that light reflectors work from 1960s technology on a film set for a set. That first of all, they generally go for something that's going to be pretty consistent, like a constant. Like if you have a light reflector, you want to give a nice soft light, something subtle to bring out the attractiveness or the good light, so they say, of the actor. You don't want it to be, doing this weird stuff where it's like a disco ball. That's not how light reflectors are intended to operate. So what exactly is going on there, and what is it doing? Like what is all this little flashy and these little squarish panels? I mean, is it generating light? Is it reflecting light? Because I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know how to explain it, but it is not just photographic equipment that I know of in any possible scenario. I can't imagine what that technology would be functioning. I mean, I don't think this is 1965 solar panel gathering. I mean, that is not behaving like photographic equipment, in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the other thing that's really, really going to freak you out. Look just behind Bill's shadow. This is really, really subtle. You see it yet? Okay, watch. There's something. There's an alien or a ghost or something moving just behind him. Right. Start right here, and just go with me step by step. See movement there? Just opened up, so now you see space. One more movement. You see now space again, and now it's going to appear above Kirk's right shoulder. Right. There we go. Everything can happen. Shit, it's really hard to see. There we go. See that? Right? You see right here is the motion. It's next to impossible to see, but it is there. There again, a little something there. And it moves again, you see? Just it moves right there. What is it? Because that is a moving object. It's a ghost or an energy form, and it's moving down from the top of that vehicle. You see it? Can you see it with me? Look at this. Try to get it. There we go. Watch it move right. Starts up left, up above left with Kirk's shoulder. There it is. You see it, right? I mean, this is so hard to see, so subtle, but that you could miss it. But there's some sort of object right here. This is an alien. This is a ghost. This is something moving so fast, so precisely with form that you have to concede it's intelligent movement. You see? Look at that. Look at that. What is it? What is that? You see that? It's like climbing down and going across. I mean, what is moving so fast in a way that's physically impossible to move? Now we see, just like he's saying, what is this? And again, with the thumbs and the hands, is making some clear gesture for us. You know, behold this, because that's exactly the mode of travel of what's behind there. So it seems like Kirk probably would know. It's like a magic trick, like here, voila! You know, it's like this subtle magic, just like the snaps. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you another thing that's very strange. Look at the shadow. Now, I'm not 100% sure, because I'm not an expert on shadows and all that geometric math shit. I don't know. But first of all, it seems a little small. It probably is the right size shadow, but it does seem small. Like this guy's shadow is much bigger, and he's only a little bit bigger and a little bit closer. He's a much larger man, but not such. You know, he's maybe 5-6 inches taller, maybe 40 pounds heavier or something like that. And look at how much bigger the shadow is than Kirk's. Kirk's shadow just seems unusually small, but watch really carefully. I have to take a hit of pot because I'm a little bit less. Hold on with me, guys. I'm going to take a hit of my pot, which is what makes being so insane is to see aliens and advanced technology in Star Trek possible with a straight face for over an hour. So just give me 1 second here, and I'm going to smoke my magic dust, which is just a wonderful medical grade cannabis from my local place, which I'm not going to give the name of, but if you'll just bear with me again, because it's so fucking long that I have to do this, because I am kind of losing my sanity. I have to get my sanity back to see these fucking aliens. Hold on one moment, please. And if you have a little bit, I hope you partake. Okay, thank you. Okay. So look at the shadow. Thought I looked behind. Okay, look at the shadow. Look down on the ground. This Peter Pan like very small shadow. Peter Pan, by the way, is a sign for me of immortality. Because ancient New Pan, they didn't age. Like there's a theory that ancient life forms from the old world had enough oxygen in their blood that they didn't have diseases and they didn't age because of cellular reproduction, not really itself. And Peter Pan represents immortality because, which is infinity science. Infinity and immortality go hand in hand, like the great city of the United States. And this is clearly parlayed through the Pantheon story. Just to go off the tangent here, because Captain Hook, in my opinion, represents the actually the cellular reproduction, where we have those two tails in our cells. I really think that's what the hook is, because crocodile people, carried into ancient African legend or history, were what the serpent people were to the Adam and Eve scenario. So crocodile people actually were the snake people, and that's what's it called? That might be not the serpent here. It's the caduceus, where the two snakes are wrapped up, around each other in a medical thing, like the sign of medicine. Because the sign of medicine is the sign of genetics, and when you see the snakes, you see genetics. But like in anything in Egyptian hieroglyphs, for example, or like science, anything, the Adam and Eve story, they always go back to the snake people. And the ancient Africans believed they were crocodile people, and the crocodile in the Captain Hook scenario, where he's always, Captain Hook is always running away from a crocodile who ate his hand. It's always tick tock, because that's the biological certainty that Captain Hook is going to die, and that's why they grow up into adults as we know them, because they're mortals and they're dealing with immortals, which always remain youthful because they don't age, and that's why that interplay works out so well. Anyway, so to move on through this, look at the shadow, because does this shadow actually make sense? Is this what Kirk is really doing? Is the shadow doing what Kirk is doing, or because I don't think it is. Maybe it is, but there's just something about the way that Kirk, the shadow is standing here that makes it look a little too theatrical or stagey or just unnatural or unreal. Like he just looks really. Notice first of all his feet are remaining planted. He's not moving his feet at all when he does all this movement. That takes training to do that. So he's definitely doing something conscious with his body there. And I can't say it's anything unnatural or unusual, but the shadow and what he's doing with his hands doesn't seem to match up. So you could say it was like possibly CGI replaced of something else that's there, or get this, what if there's another figure directly behind him and he's blocking him with his body, and they coordinated this absolutely perfectly, so that there's a smaller creature behind him that's a fucking alien out there, right? But let's just take a look. Look at the hands. This is the clue. You see? I guess that wouldn't make sense, because if there was one behind him, it would have to be doing both, but what's this? Because the hands are not showing thumbs, and they're not showing upward angle. It doesn't. Does this match? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it does. It's just. Let's just look a little more carefully. Maybe I'm not onto something here that's legit. Maybe I am, but I think I am. If I had to, using my instincts. So watching. There's nothing too unusual now. But here's a clue, because I'm not seeing how it's possible there's a space there and this angle seems not to be the same. Am I crazy here? Because it looks like this, but not like an exact match, because his arm is coming forward enough that it's not appearing extended out, yet this is at an angle like it's outward. So this is not matching this necessarily. No, it could just be the angle we're casting the angle, but look again, we'll keep going. Because this went down and this didn't. You see? You see what I'm saying? Watch this. Down, and his hand doesn't go down. You see what I'm saying? Now, maybe it's just that weird angular light shit and all that, but it just doesn't seem as if it can match. It's coming out, there's no thumb, it's not the same. Maybe, but because if that is lapel, it's not even part of his body, what I was thinking was it, but Anyway, it's just a theory. It's just something strange. Before I get to the really bizarre shit with the guy and with the glasses over there. Okay, so let's just start there. This is the only time you're going to see this man's, what appears to be one of his sunglasses, manifest as having a bar that goes to the ear. And what kind of ear is it, and where is the bar going over the ear? So we already know there's something totally impossible going on with this person. Another thing I want you to look at is the shoes. The shoes just look strange to me. I can't identify what it is exactly about them, but they just don't look like normal shoes. Also, the pants have a fabric that don't seem normal to me, but I can't get too crazy and out there with this. I can stick to the things that are really obvious. Now, just look at the man's ear and his glasses throughout this. Let's just watch very carefully. Before I get to the cigarette, which it starts with, look at his glasses. Now, this is not eyeglasses. This is not a lens covering this man's eye. This is a shadow or something else that's got definition and shape the same exact as his eye socket. He's also got a very large head. And this head seems to be maybe half, like 1.5 times the size. Maybe, it's a large head. And no metal. There's no ear shape here. Now we're gonna say that it's just, it's kind of fuzzy too, and you can say it's just kind of a bad light. Let's keep going. It doesn't get different. It doesn't suddenly grow a better ear. It doesn't grow a metal thing. Nothing normal about this so far. And his nose just remains to reflect light like it's white the whole time. Like his nose doesn't reflect light in a normal way. Do you notice his nose is just always white? It's because just like the other guy, they have a weird nose thing. Like it's not reflecting light like a normal nose. It's fucking freaking me out. So just keep your eye on his ear. You see how his ear isn't really there, and then it sort of, shape shifts into being. And what kind of ear exactly is this? Is there a lobe? I mean, I understand this is Super 8 technology from the 60s, but this is so fucking crazy that I can't explain it. And it's just, this guy's just moving around like a normal thing. It's just fucking android, it's an alien, what the fuck? So his ear kind of becomes into focus now. More of an ear there, not a normal ear, but he does have something. But you still, no metal bar on any sunglasses. Oh my god, I'm so glad I got stoned, because how can you fucking watch this and not need to be high? I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is not, now suddenly, the metal grows from his fucking skin as his ear shrinks lower in his neck. And now he's got metal all going through his fucking head. It just grows in the guy's fucking head. Oh my god. Okay, you're gonna do a better job explaining this to me, because while this guy's doing all this shit, we got this weird fucking alien crossing over, we got this fucking shadow shit, we got this advanced fucking, this reflective shit, we got a weird tire over here. I don't know what the fuck this is on the ground, but that looks strange too. And let's look again. Okay, now another thing. Watch this big weird eyeglass man's hand. Now he first of all takes it looks to be like a puff of a cigarette, but I'm not so sure that's what that is. But let's just say it is. So watch the smoke there for a second. Smokes, puff up, and now. Okay, this is very important. Cigarette in his hand between his index finger and his middle finger. Now his hand goes forward. Keep a very careful eye on this trickster. It's just because it's just like the best magicians in the world. He's going to pull a super fast one. Now his finger is pointing down. That's not that easy to do, like when you got a cigarette in your hand, to suddenly just move your finger to point down at the ground like he's pointing at the shadows or his shoes, right? So there's, again, probably something going on with the shadows. He's trying to let us, like it's maybe smoke and mirrors is the message. Like, I mean, this could all just be just some gigantic hoax. It would be just impossibly brilliant and genius beyond it's NASA level fucking hoax here. It's very certainly possible, but I still couldn't explain it. But okay, let's keep watching his finger there, pointing down, and it appears that cigarette has disappeared. Where did it go? Cigarette, and you can see the cigarette right there. And now, it seems to be I guess it's in his hand there, like it's like it, maybe that's still it. Points down, somehow retains the cigarette between his index, and I guess that was it. He was just pointing down at the shadow, so anything with the shadow that was sitting there, I guess I'm actually just studying this for the first time while we're making this video, which I probably shouldn't do, but what I do notice is that I don't see Spock's head moving the way it should be. Look at Spock's head and look at how this head moves. First of all, that's not a normal form. I think they really are playing with the shadows here. And it probably is about the Peter Pan thing. So maybe these guys can fly, you know, maybe they're clones and they're all, you know, 5 years old. You know, maybe this is Captain Hook with his hook, you know, coming down. I mean, anything's possible here. And we have this thing kind of flying down in a way, and this really could be flying right behind Kirk. You know, I mean, and appearing. So I can't explain exactly what's going on with Mystery Sunglasses Man's hand, but he does seem to be pulling a fast one of some kind with his hand, pointing down at the shadow, very subtly, and then going back real quick, and somehow that cigarette stays in his hand the whole time. Like you can say that there's no cigarette here because there's a white space on the ground, and this is the kind of thing again that's so sophisticated that they planned for this. They knew just where this guy's hand was going to be, just on that set. He knows just where he's going to be, so you can't tell if it's a cigarette in his hand or not, because he's doing something so fast with his cigarette here that it just disappears. You know, you can't. I mean, I guess it's in his hand, but I can't explain how he's retaining in his hand too easily if he's pointing that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is that what that is? Is it a cigarette? Because anyway, I'm getting lost. I'm getting a little tired here. Okay, I gotta get to the thing. Look at this. He probably did not notice this the whole time. Remember what I was talking about? Is like something above his ass and all that, you know, crazy funny shit. Look at this. Look at this. Comes down and forms in his pocket, but it's like his pants go up over, and it doesn't appear that the guy's like wearing pants that go up to here. I mean, maybe he is. That a lot of people did that, but it's just strange because there's something in his back pocket or his pants that's like there. It's like a panel that he's wearing a cereal box inside that he's, you know, laid down on or something. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can say that the guy was just, you know, had a notebook inside of his pants and he was just kind of on a set and he wore it in his ass for some reason, just out of convenience, but it's still weird. It's still strange. It doesn't explain anything to say that. I mean, we don't have a good explanation for it. And it's just, with all the other weird shit going on, I mean, what are they trying to tell us? Like, it's probably some sort of statement that we, you know, haven't put together. Maybe somebody's quicker than me can fucking get it, but it's got form in here. I mean, is it a tail? Is the guy a fucking android? Which it certainly would make sense if the guy's an android, because he's growing some metal out of his skin in a few frames. Watch this. Okay, look at his weird nose, kind of his mushy face, and then no eyeglasses, no metal, strange ear. And suddenly, oh, now he's got metal. This is not a lack of light like that we're seeing. Like, this guy should have some sort of reflection, some sort of registering of his sunglasses if they actually exist. There's just nothing there. Doesn't have anything on. And now, at the end of this, look at this. He's got metal coming out of his fucking head all of a sudden while his ear becomes like a hole, and it just seems to grow. I mean, this is just not, you know, what the fuck. So I actually have not really examined the rest of this shit at all, and I don't know what I'm going to find, but up to that point, I thought it was worth taking the time. Thank you for digesting all this shit. This is a 90-minute video. I'm going to go get even much higher and then go to sleep.